Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And I'm blessed to be here with you today. I hope all this works out with technologically. I have it set up, I think, in a way that's going to work, God willing.
Yes.
So, yes.
We're here to support you in any way we can. But
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
because it's different from Be Live, and
It's, yeah, it's way more, well, I like it. It's very professional.
it is. It
You
is.
know, I find it very professional. Are you and I just in the room together, or is this a room where everyone can see us?
Everyone. Yeah.
Everyone from the seminar.
Mhm.
Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, so I completely misunderstood Zoom. This is why I use Be Live because I'm still trying to learn Zoom.
Be Live has more of a backstage feature, but this is everyone can see you. It's just kind of like Facebook Live. It's the same thing except for just not on Facebook.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm so excited to have you here
Thank
today.
you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very thankful to be here.
Thank you. So today we have with us soprano Angel Blue, who, sings the house down always.
Thank you.
So we're so excited to hear what she has to say and what she would like to present for us today. I'm going to give a little short introduction.
Okay.
Recognized for her beautiful timbre, stunning stage presence, soprano Angel Blue's voice has been hailed for its shining, agile upper register and smoky middle register. A regular BBC Brahms presenter who is equally at home on the concert stage or the operatic stage, Angel is quickly has established, is my edit, as one of the best opera singers in this generation, having performed in over 35 countries in the last 6 years. I am so grateful to have Angel with us today. I mean, has established, okay? Established.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Renee. I have to say, um, the first thing is I am so delighted and so honored that you would invite me to be a part of this. I keep calling my husband because I want him to do two things for me. I'd like him to get me some more coffee, and I forgot my tissue because I know that at some point I'm probably gonna cry here a little bit, and maybe not. Hopefully, I'll keep that together. But I've been watching the seminars since I tuned in a little bit late. The registration started at 8:30, and I came in around like 8:50, and I was there with Shay for the meditation. My stepson was sitting next to me on his tablet. We watched, and I've been at every event so far, and I plan to stay with you for the rest of the day. I have been greatly inspired by everybody who is speaking today, moved, motivated, um, encouraged, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to share with you a bit of my journey. Because, you know, when we do these interviews and stuff with people, like we do interviews for different newspapers and online publications and such, and it's funny because oftentimes we're asked very specific questions about our journeys, very specific questions about our careers, and we don't get to share really the path that one takes to get to wherever it is that they are. And so I hope that it's okay today if I just take you a bit on my journey, and hopefully it encourages someone, hopefully it uplifts someone, and hopefully, um, I don't know, just I hope that the tone for the day, I looked up what keynote speaker means. And keynote speaker is a person who is basically they bring everything to the conclusion, or they've set, I don't want to say set the tone because I believe the tone has already been set for the day, but they're sort of highlighting the things that we've been talking about today. And so I would like to, as best I can, highlight the wonderful things that people have been saying today, the things that are very true that we don't often discuss, and then of course bring my own story into those things. So I hope that's all right.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so I would like to I know I said it already, but I'm so blessed. And I put this here. I bought this last year when I moved to New Jersey because I'm from California, but I moved to the East Coast last year with my family for work because I was never at home in California. And I love California. I'm from Southern California. Most people think I'm from Los Angeles, but I'm actually from the high desert, which is Apple Valley, California. And it's not a very well-known city. Even in California, people don't know where it is. Um, and I was always sort of brought up with this idea that I've been blessed brought up with this idea that I have so much to be thankful for. And so I took this off of the wall in the living room to put it here because I do believe that I'm blessed. I believe that you are blessed as well. So I want to share a little bit about my journey. And I want to take you back to Apple Valley really quickly. I'm going to do my best to stay on time. And I want to take you back to Apple Valley on this street that I grew up on, where I heard opera just about every day. I know that in our community, in the Black community, it's most of the time we don't hear stories of Black singers really hearing opera at home. But I was very blessed to have that because of my dad. And my father, Sylvester Blue, loved opera. And he was a trained classical musician. He studied at the Cleveland Conservatory of Music. I believe now it's the Cleveland Conservatory. When he went there, it was the Cleveland Institute of Music. And my dad was a huge inspiration to me. Growing up in Apple Valley was interesting because there was a musical scene there. There was a musical, excuse me, one second. One second. I apologize, everybody. Just one second. Okay, I apologize. Sorry. We have a full house here. 2 dogs, a little boy, my husband. So I was just making sure everybody knew that I was doing this call. I apologize. But what I was saying was I was talking about my dad and how he loved classical music. So he introduced me at a young age to opera. The very first recording I had on Iroquois Road was Iroquois is where I grew up. All of the names of the streets in Apple Valley, hence the name Apple Valley, are Native American names. So Kiowa, Paiute, Navajo, Bear Valley Road is our major street. So we would be driving down Bear Valley Road, and my dad would say, "Angel, do you hear this?" And I'd say, "Yes. What is this?" And he would say, "This is Leontine Price." And I just remember listening to her voice and just thinking there was a plethora of emotions that I was experiencing. I remember feeling joy. I remember feeling that the voice, I could, even though I didn't understand a lot of things that were what was happening, I didn't understand what aria was or what the translation was or the composer or any of that. I just felt that her spirit, whatever it was that was coming from her, was speaking to me. And I was so young, I was probably 7 or 8 years old when that happened. I grew up in a household where music was, I don't want to say music was everything, because in my household, truly God was everything. But music played a huge part in my upbringing. And that little girl who grew up on Iroquois Road is the same little girl that's inside of me today who gets to sing around the world. I had no idea that the journey that I would take was going to be as difficult, as fun, as wild as it has been. And from the time I was young, growing up in Apple Valley, listening to Leontine Price, my sister and I in 1991 or 1992, I don't remember the year exactly, but Kathleen Battle and Jesse Norman sang at Carnegie Hall. They had the spirituals in concert. And what's fascinating about it is Heather and I recorded, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Heather is my older sister. And Heather would pretend to be Jesse Norman, and I pretended to be Kathleen Battle, and we would sing over and over and over again. That's the household that I grew up in. I just always loved opera, always loved music. So let me jump a little bit forward. And I'm going to I have some notes on my phone, so that's what you'll see me looking down at. And I'm going forward to, so this was around the time that I was 7 or 8 years old. So I'm going to jump forward to going into high school. And I was trying to figure out a title of a message or a title of what I was going to say. And the objective, the title of what I've heard everybody say today is encouragement. And the first thing I thought was, you can do it. It's possible. I thought of all of these things. And I'm listening to people talk about, being being interested in opera from an educational perspective, and not just being on stage, but also being in administration and doing all of these things for not in my opinion, when we help the Black community in opera, we help the art form at large. That's how I see it. I see that it's a much bigger picture than just uplifting each other, which of course we must do. But I also find that in uplifting each other, we also uplift our art form. So there's all of these things that I've been thinking about. And one thing I really believe that rings true through every single part of this seminar is that it's possible. It's possible. Your dreams, your desires, the things that you want in your life, it's possible. There is not one thing, excuse me, I got excited and so did my dogs. There is not one thing that you cannot do. Not one thing. I believe in you. Please believe in me. Together we will make this thing greater than it's ever been. Going back to Apple Valley, it's possible. When I was about 12 years old, my parents said that they wanted to help me in opera. They wanted to get me on a path where I could actually be studying, really studying. I was doing all of these sort of smaller programs in Apple Valley, and they were, and not to put the programs down, but it was never going to take me to where I really wanted to be and where my parents saw that I could be. And my mom said when I was about 14 years old, she said, Angel, she said, if you really want to sing, there's a high school that Dad and I want to take you to. And I said, okay. And so she starts talking about Los Angeles. Now, from where I'm from, Los Angeles is a big deal. Okay. I'm from a small town. So Los Angeles is huge. I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to get discovered. I'm going to be famous or something. And my mom said, you're going to study. You're going to get to study opera. My dad said, you're going to get to study opera. Okay. But here's the challenge. The high school that I went to was 2.5 hours from our house in Apple Valley. So my parents, my beautiful parents, thank you, Lord, for my parents. My mom would come in my house, in the house, my mom would come in my room with the rag on her head at about 4:15 in the morning, and she'd wake me up. She'd say, Angel, okay, it's time to go, time to get ready. And I said, okay. So I get up, I get ready, do my shower and everything, put my clothes on. At the time I used to wear gray contacts. I put my gray contacts in, and I do my eyeliner. I put gray, and then I put blue, and then I put, I think it was red at the top. I don't know why I did that. High school, how the thing goes, it's what it is, growing pains, whatever. And we left the house around 5:15 a.m. My beautiful sister Heather would be at home with my brother, and she would be at home with him. They'd be getting ready for school separately because they went to school in our hometown of Apple Valley. My parents drove me 1 hour to get to a train station that was an hour away from our home. We'd sit there in the morning and they'd be talking to me. My dad would say, what did you learn today in your music class? What are you studying in theory, and that kind of a thing. And we'd be talking, they'd pray with me, then I'd go get on a train. And the train ride was about 1 hour, 15, 20 minutes. And then there were other students on the train. I'd take the train in, get off at the train at school. It was at Cal State LA, the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts. And I'd go in, we'd have class from 8 o'clock to 12:15. We had a lunch break, and then we had our arts. That's why I was at the school, was for the arts. I got to study the piano. I got to study gospel. I studied opera. I did my first opera when I was 14 years old. I sang Ruggiero in Handel's Alcina. And that opened just a plethora of experiences for me in the arts. And what's funny about it is that 2.5 hour commute each day, both ways, 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. I wouldn't really understand the importance of that until I got older, because to me, I was just going to school. I was doing something I loved to do. It was fun. And I just knew that I loved opera. I just knew that I loved to sing. And by the time I was 16 years old, I was really bold and told people, I'm going to go to Juilliard. I'm going to go to New York. New York is going to be where I'm at. Da, 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 da. I had all these dreams. And my dad said to me one time, he said, you got to write down the things that you want to do. I wouldn't do that for almost another 10 years. But anyway, I share with you that story of me going to high school because I feel like that has set the precedent for my career as an opera singer. I feel like when we have a goal for ourselves, when we really see what it is that we want to see, I believe, I don't want to say it wrong. Somebody can look it up. I want to say Proverbs 29:16. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong. And I apologize if you don't follow the Bible or if you don't like the Bible, I apologize. That's just how I live my life. That's just what works for me. And so you'll excuse me when I get excited. You'll excuse me when I talk about the Lord, because that's been my journey. That's what I know. I can't come on here and tell you something that I don't know. I can only come on here and tell you what I know. And I know that without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision, without a goal, without a dream, without a desire, people perish. You must have a goal for yourself. And even though that girl who woke up at 4:15, 4:30 a.m. in the morning was just going down to LA, she never knew. Well, no, she envisioned it, but never did I think that my journey, my vision for myself would actually take me to the places that I dreamt of going. Never did I know that. But I in my heart, I thought there's something for me. I know that God has a plan for me. I know there's something there. And today I look back on that and that journey of waking up in the morning so early and then going down to that school, and some of the kids in my hometown saying, why do you go to school in Los Angeles? Why are you doing that? Why would you want to? Thank you. Proverbs 29:18. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it is that thing of having a vision for yourself. So many of you on here, so many of the beautiful opera singers, you want to have, you want to have a career in this business. Let me tell you something. And I know I'm jumping around. I hope you can follow what I'm saying. I apologize if it doesn't make sense. I'll do my best to make sense. But let me tell you something. You want to have whatever your career path may be, whatever it is you want to do, it's possible. It's possible. When I was in college, I'm going to jump a little bit ahead. So that was high school. When I got to college, I didn't take school super seriously. I didn't. I got into college and I was on probation. I was on academic probation. I don't say that to be funny or say that to impress you. I do say that to impress upon you that anything is possible. I knew that when I went into UCLA to get my master's degree, they said, because my GPA was not high. I have 3 older sisters, all of whom are very smart. My oldest sister, Netta, is a nurse. My sister, Felicia, my second to the oldest sister, Felicia, is a journalist. My sister, Heather, is a clinical psychologist with 2 PhDs from UCLA. I went into UCLA on academic probation. I got into the thing and they said, Angel, the only way you can stay in the Master's of Music program is if you have a 4.0. I had to have straight A's to stay there. And it was hard. I got a B in one of my classes and I remember thinking, dang it, I'm going to get kicked out of the school. And I was saved. Thank God I was saved by my recital and by some extra work that I had done with at that time they had this thing called the Gluck Foundation that I was a part of, and we would do recitals and things at sort of like what do you call that, at homes and for inner city youth and things like that. So I was able to stay at the school because of that, and that was a blessing for me. But I want to say, wherever you are right now in your journey, in your path, this crazy COVID-19 thing that's come upon all of us, that has made us all really, COVID-19 came in and said, everybody have several seats. That's really what it did. Have seats and reevaluate, or at least that's my opinion of it. And I've taken this time to really try to do that. Taking this time to really try to evaluate and see, okay, well, what am I supposed to learn in this time? Instead of in this time being upset and being discouraged and feeling despondent, instead of that, use your talents, do this kind of a thing. Renee, how fantastic is this, that you can come on here and create this platform for people to come together and to be inspired by one another, to lift each other up. That's what we must do, especially within the Black community. We must lift each other up. I should not be jealous of you. You should not be jealous of me. I should look at you and I should say, wow, wow, they're doing great things, and greater things shall you do if you believe. I believe that with all of my heart. I want that for you. I want you to be great. I want to be great, and we will be great together in this season. One of the things I've loved about this time, about this sort of I'll call it about this quiet time of some of the theaters have closed, and jobs have been canceled, and force majeure and all of this stuff, is it's really allowed me to reevaluate relationships and the way that I treat people. It has really allowed me to I think really just be still. Just be still. And in that stillness, what are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be learning? If you want to have a career in opera, no matter what it is, Afton Battle. I keep forgetting to reach out to Afton Battle. I've never met her, but I want to congratulate her. She is the new general director of Fort Worth Opera. Congratulations, that is awesome. What an amazing accomplishment. In this season, what are you supposed to be doing? What is it that you're supposed to be creating? What is it that you're supposed to be talking about? What is it that you're supposed to be learning? So many things. I apologize. I went off a little bit of a tangent. I was talking about school, and I was talking about my GPA and how my GPA was low. I was told in school that I needed to work harder, that I needed to basically be smarter. I was told in school a lot of things, Angel, your technique is not, what do you call it? Your technique's not solid. There's a lot of things I heard. Your languages aren't good, and this is the thing. This is one thing. And maybe hopefully it's not a tangent, but this is one thing. People will always say stuff about what somebody else is doing. And they'll be really excited to tell you about, oh, well, so-and-so, your Italian's it's not like hers. Her Italian's really great, Angel. Her Italian is she takes Italian. She spent the summer in, I don't know, Spoleto. And then she went to, her German is wonderful. And she did the program in Graz. And I had never been to any of those places. I didn't get out of the United States, for singing until 2009. I was already 26 when I left. And I think what's fascinating is there's this great African proverb, and please let me know if Renee and the people who are in this room, this chat, please do let me know if I go off too bad. Bring me back. Okay, don't let me go like that. Bring me back. But I was going to say there's a great African proverb that says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm. And that is so true. That's something I think is so vital and so very important to not just opera, not just singing, but I think that's important in life. If you know within yourself, I'm just going to be really honest with you. From the time I was probably about 5 years old, I've always believed, my dad used to always say, Angel, you're destined for greatness. And I didn't really understand the magnitude of that statement until I got older. And I thought, wow. And by greatness, I used to think that meant that I was going to be really famous. Like, oh, I'm fame. But you're destined for greatness means that there's a whole lot of responsibility that you carry with your talent. There's a whole lot of responsibility that you carry with your person. There's a whole lot of responsibility that you carry within the community. There's a whole lot of responsibility that you carry as a child of God. There's a whole lot of responsibility. And I tell you, it's possible. This is for, what I'm going to say now is just for the young people who want to be singers on the stage. I don't know anything about administration. I'm not coming at you with this great, grand, vast vocabulary. I'm just going to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you about my journey. I wanted to sing. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be in costumes. I wanted to have the makeup and the hair and the wigs and whatever. I wanted all of that. And I felt like I was in Los Angeles, and I felt like I had no opportunity in Los Angeles. And maybe I should share what happened when I was at UCLA. My father died. The greatest inspiration for me to sing was taken away. And it was very hard to sing when he died, because I don't have my dad coming to the shows anymore. I don't have my dad listening to me sing, giving me pointers anymore. All of that was gone. And so I had to find really a new reason to sing. And I wouldn't find that until I left and went to Europe. I always knew that I wanted to do this, but without my dad being there to say, go, Angel. Those of you who have never seen a photo of my father, he had the best smile. This smile was just filled with so much love and so much joy and comfort and peace. And it was like whenever he smiled at you, he was giving you a little bit of that. And so I felt like all of that was taken from me, not to mention his great voice and of course his wisdom and his knowledge, his help, and his prayers and everything. But when I was at UCLA, that was a hard blow for me and my family. My mom and my sisters are also here on the seminar today, and I know that they would agree with that, especially my mother, because they were married for 31 years when he passed. And when my dad passed away, I dropped out of school for the year, and I was supposed to graduate with all of the people that I came into school with in 2005, but in 2006, it was December 31st, 2006 that he died. And I'll tell you this, I hope I stay on track. His name was Sylvester Blue. Sylvester in Germany, Silvester, December 31st is Saint Sylvester Day that they celebrate in Germany. And that's also the day that Saint Sylvester died, which I always thought I just find that so fascinating that he passed on that day. So I dropped out of UCLA, and I told them, I said, I can't stay in the program. I'm not going to be able to graduate with the class that I came in with. I have to go another year. And I did. I had to take another year. I started taking classes and I couldn't finish the class. So I dropped out of the class, and here I am thinking, Angel, you want to be this international opera singer. You can't even finish a course and you're still on academic probation. How are you going to be an opera singer? You don't speak fluent Italian. You don't speak fluent this. You've never even been to Europe. P.S. Your passport is expired from when you were 14 years old. So, you're supposed to get that done every 10 years. So how are you going to be an opera singer? You can't even finish class. How's that going to happen? So I ended up going to LA Opera for the Young Artist program there. Fine. I did the program. It took me a long time to try to get myself together. So then finally, I'm going to skip a little bit here. I did a young artist program I was really in the program for 4 years. Nobody ever says that, but it was really 4 years long. And I was sitting down at the time with my mom and I said, Mom, opera singers go to Europe. This is for people who want to sing opera. I don't know anything about a lot of like I just saw one of the comments. I don't know anything about administration or how an opera company is run. I don't even know how things work backstage. I don't know about the makeup and the hair, makeup crew and everything. So I just have to share what I know. And I know how I became an opera singer. And that was that I kept going. And I believed that it was possible. I know I've had a lot of people look at me cross-eyed and sideways and upside down because, you didn't do this or you didn't do that, but that wasn't my path. I did what I was supposed to do. And my mom said, when I was sitting at the table talking to her, this is in 2009, the beginning of 2009, and she said, Angel, just keep going. She said, you just keep going. You just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Just, what do you want to do? And I hate it when she'd ask that because I want her to tell me what to do. I was like, no, I'm not asking you that for you to say, do what you want to do. I'm asking you this for you to tell me what I should do. She said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, Mom, I want to sing. I want to sing. I'd like to go and sing over in Europe. I mean, that would be amazing. And my mom said, well, then go do that. So this is for people who want to sing. I left the United States when I was 26 and I was still immature when I left. I was immature before and I was immature when I left. But if there's anything I will say is that when you want to become an international opera singer where you're singing at different places, you will figure that out real quick about maturity. I know I had to. I moved to Spain and I lived in Spain for 1 year. And I was in a program in Spain called the Palau de las Arts. I think it was called, the name is like Academia of Artists for the Center of Perfection. That was the name. Um, and it really opened my eyes to what opera was. And what opera was to me at that time was not just, it became more than just, I have a gift, I can sing. It became more than just, yeah, I can follow directions and I can do what the director tells me to do on stage, what the director tells me to do on stage. It became more than just wanting to emulate and be like Leontine Price. It became something that I had to do. It became something that I realized I was destined to do. And no matter what people had said to me, no matter what people would say to me, I found when I went to Europe, and please understand, I'm not suggesting that if you don't go to Europe, you can't have a career. That's not true. That was my path. But I found that when I went there, I learned to love opera for myself. I learned to love my voice for myself. I learned that the path, what I'm doing, was for me. It was something that was destined for me to do. And I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I think that the sacrifices that I have made, and I say that not to be like, look at me, look at how great I am and what I sacrificed all this and now I'm here. I don't mean it like that, but I'm just saying that I wanted something. I wanted to see a schedule. I wrote it out actually when I was 26 years old in 2009. I wrote it out and I wrote where I wanted to sing. I had the Metropolitan Opera, I had La Scala, I had Covent Garden, I had all these really big opera companies. The girl who was on academic probation and couldn't even get an A in music history. It's possible. I wrote all this stuff down. Excuse me, y'all. Adam, do you mind getting me a paper towel, baby? Thank you. My husband's really sweet. He's sitting over there drinking coffee and listening to me up in here. And I wrote down what I wanted. And I remember my dad would always talk about how he would go, excuse me, y'all. Thank you, baby. He would go in the southwest corner of his bedroom and he would get on his face and he would pray and he would ask the Lord, he would just talk to God. He asked the Lord for things that he needed, things that he wanted, excuse me. But my dad had a very intense relationship with God. And so does, praise God, so does my mom. My mom is here. And I had this list and I just remember thinking, how am I gonna, thanks baby, how am I gonna sing at all these places? I don't speak all these languages. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't, at that point I had only really been to Spain. And every time I went to do an audition, it seemed like people were looking at me cross-eyed and they're sizing me up and down and, and looking at me like I'm crazy. I actually even had one person say to me, I'll tell you how good God is. This person actually said to me when I went to an audition overseas in Europe, I was 27 at this point, and I was walking, it was freezing. I'm from California. It was so cold. I was not prepared for that weather. And I had this audition and I thought I sang very well. And the intendant of that theater said to me, I don't even know why you're here. And that hit me real hard. And I went back to the hotel and I called my mom and I started crying. And I said, Mom, what am I doing? What am I doing? And my mom said, don't worry about that person. Angel, you got your, and I had my list. I carried it everywhere. I have it upstairs. It's all messed up now and it's all crumbled up and everything. I was going to bring it down, but nobody needs to see it. But I said, what am I doing? And my mom said, you got to pray. You got to pray. You have to believe. You have to, and with all of that is faith. Hebrews 11:1, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's the substance of things hoped for. I wanted to sing. That's my hope. I wanted to sing at the Met. I wanted to sing at La Scala. I wanted to sing at the Wiener Staatsoper. I wanted to sing. the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's not at fruition yet. It's not right in front of you yet. It's not right. It's not that you can, it's not tangible yet, where you can actually pick up the program and say, hey, look, remember when I did this? It's not there yet. But the thing is this, you have to believe that it is. So I'm going back to when I was in Spain with that letter, and I started praying over it. And I said, I'm going to start praying over these things. I'm going to start giving these things to God. I'm not going to, I may not be the best opera singer in the world. I may not have the best technique. I may not be the thinnest or the biggest or the best body shape. I may not have the nicest natural hair. My hair is 4C. I heard that earlier and it made me happy. I may not have, I don't know. I may not be the best in Italian. I may not sing the most legato. I may not have the best staccato, but I know one thing, I have the Lord. And that is where my help has come from. That is where my help continues to come from. That is where my help will always come from. And I promise you, and please understand, I'm not sitting here saying that if you don't believe these things, when I talk about God, I'm not saying that if you don't believe these things that they're not for you. I do believe that this is for you. I do believe the things that the desires that you have, the dreams you have for yourself, they are there. They may not be tangible right now to you, but they are there. But you must believe, whether or not, when I say Hebrews 11:1 or I say Proverbs 29:18, whether or not that resonates with you, you still have to believe. You still must believe. I wanted to say about when I turned 27, I went to Austria and I sang at the Theater an der Wien right now, where so many of our friends are singing Porgy and Bess. I've been praying for them, and I hope that they're safe and that they're able to do their performances and everything with all of this stuff going on. I was 27 and I was in singing this opera called The Rape of Lucretia. I was singing the female chorus, and I started looking at what everybody else was doing. And I saw that so many of my friends were singing here and they're singing there and they're going here, they're winning competitions. And then some of them had, because their careers had been going for a while, they were able to get married. They were able to have kids. They were able to buy a house. And I'm sitting here living out of this suitcase. I had one job that I didn't have another job for like 6 months. And then it was just such a mess for me. But I kept believing. And every now and again, I'd go through I have the paper in my wallet, and I'd take out my wallet and I'd look at what I wrote. I want to sing at the Met. I want to sing at Royal Opera House. I want to sing it at La Scala. I want to sing at Seattle Opera. I had all these places. And I wanted my goal, might sound crazy, but my goal was to come back to the United States, because at this time I was in Europe. And I love Europe. Europe is fantastic. Europe has done a great deal of, has been a great help to so many African Americans and African artists in terms of shining light on their talents. I loved it, but it still wasn't home. I wanted to come home. And I thought about what my dad used to say in his sermons. He used to say that his father said to him, Sylvester, the strength of your ministry is not in your ability. It's not in your singing voice. The strength of your ministry is in your prayer life. And that hit me so hard when I was in Vienna, because I had to realize that the strength of my ministry, of what I do here, the strength of my ministry is singing opera. It's not in how many scales I can do. It's not in singing Mimi. It's not in singing Violetta. It's not in singing Liu. My strength is not in the fact that I have, that I sang Bess at the Met. My strength is not in a relationship that I have with any opera company. That's all a blessing, and I'm thankful for it. But where the strength comes from, where that hope comes from, where that belief comes from, where that security comes from, is my relationship with God. Knowing that the path that I'm on, what I'm doing, is because God has a plan for my life. God has a plan for your life. There is something with your name written all over it. Whatever door he opens, no man can close. Whatever door he shuts, no man can open. And when I started really understanding that about 10 years ago, do you know, I felt like a weight fell off of me. A weight fell off of me. All of a sudden I stopped thinking, oh, I got into school on academic probation. I'm going like this because I felt my shoulders drop. I stopped thinking, oh, well, you don't speak all these languages like everybody else. I stopped thinking, oh, well, you put on weight, you don't look like you used to. I stopped thinking that, because that's not the truth about what's inside of you. What's inside of you is what matters. What your path, your place in this world is so vital, so important. And for me, this has just been a huge part of my journey. When I lay that down at the foot of the cross, I don't have any worries. When I lay that down, when I give it to God, I say, Lord, I really want to do this job. Father, I really want to sing here. Excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Babe, can you get me another paper towel, please? Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm sorry, I'm nasty. I knew, that's why I didn't put too much makeup on, because I was like, this is gonna get serious. But when I really started to realize that the path is already laid out, I don't have anything to worry about. There's certain things, honey. There's certain places where I really want to sing, certain places where, where I'm not going to sing. And one of the things that I say, that I say for myself is I'll say, this is just for me, if you agree with it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But one of the things that I say is, Lord, take the desire away from me. If you don't have that for me, take the desire away. Don't let me want something that you're not going to give to me. And let me want what you have for me. And I know that and I'm not trying to be preachy, y'all, but I'm just being honest with you. For me, what I've seen from everybody today is that we're all on this path. We're all on these missions. Some of us I was listening to Christina, Quo and Christina. I'm sorry if I said the name wrong, but I was listening to her speak. I thought, gosh, this girl is so eloquent. She has all these beautiful words and everything. I'm listening to people bringing, yes, Christian. I'm listening to everybody bringing all of these wonderful words and everything. And I was like, gosh, and they're talking about administration and talking about the different aspects of opera companies. And all I can hear is possible. All I feel is, wow, what a great place this is to be uplifted by so many other Black people. What a blessing to sit here and to hear all of us talk about how can we talk to the inner youth? How can we uplift them? How can we let them know, hey, you can bring opera and hip hop and opera together. And we see that with Babatunde, and Denise was just talking about that yesterday. It's so wonderful to see that. The sentiment as a keynote speaker, thank you for letting me, I'm the keynote crier, but as this keynote speaker, crier, whatever, what I've gotten from today is uplift, move forward, keep going, do what you're doing. Do not stop. Do not stop. You are so close. You are there. All of the work that you do, all of that traveling, I can't, this is maybe a little tangent. All of that traveling, I left the United States in 2009. I really just came home last year. I really did. I just told my husband that this morning. I said, I've really been gone for 10 years, for real. I left I can't tell you how many Christmases I have missed with my family. Excuse me. I miss Christmases with my family. I missed the birth of my last niece. I mean, I wasn't there. I was there for my other nieces who were nieces and nephews who were born, but I had missed a lot. And I realize now that all of that 10 years of traveling, constantly being with my suitcase, constantly, people saying crazy stuff to me when I'm on the road, saying, oh, how are you here? Or why are you here? Are you sure you want to be here? And all of this stuff, and hearing all of this stuff and just thinking, keep going, 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 keep going. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Just go, just go, just go. Because you are on a mission. You are on a mission, and you must press forward. You must keep going. No matter what it is. Obstacles are interesting because obstacles really come in, I believe truly, they come in to build your character. They come in to make you stronger. It does not feel like it. It doesn't feel like it when you're overseas somewhere in a country where you really don't speak the language, and the characters in their alphabet aren't even the same characters that are in a Latin-based language. You don't understand what they're saying, and then the conductor starts yelling at you, telling you things like, asking you if you're stupid. Are you stupid? You come in on beat 2, not beat 3. Why are you late? Rolling his eyes at you, looking at you like you're crazy. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stay motivated, stay motivated. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's Philippians 4:13. I am more than a conqueror. Somebody comes at you and tells you that you can't do anything. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in the image of God. How dare you tell me to flee to the hills when my hope, my trust is in the Lord? He gave me this gift, and I will use it to the best of my ability to honor him and to bring glory to his name. Am I stupid? No. And you just watch how high I rise. You just watch me. By the grace of God, I will not be moved. You have people who will come after you just because you're trying. You have people who will get mad at you just because you think you can. I'll tell you something really quick. I'm almost done, but I will tell you something about your dreams. Everybody doesn't have to know what you want to do with your life. Everybody does not need to know every single thing that you want to do with your life. If you want to drive a Mercedes Benz and you have a friend who has a Geo Metro, there's nothing wrong with a Geo Metro, by the way. If you have a friend who has a Geo Metro and they don't see themselves in a Mercedes, don't talk to them about the Mercedes unless you know that they'll be happy for you. Don't. Sometimes we talk too much. I know this firsthand. Sometimes we share too much with others. You got to have a team. You got to have people around you who really are with you, who believe in you, and who will be honest with you, who are going to tell you the truth. They're going to say, hey, Angel, I've heard you sing better than that. What's up? What's going on? What's happening? I want to talk really quickly about preparation. That hurt me when that conductor asked me if I was stupid in front of everybody. You could hear the orchestra chuckle. You hear the string section, they're like, you can hear them. They're chuckling. They ain't chuckling now. They're not. And if they are, it's most definitely not about me. And I want to talk about preparation. Truth be truly told, was I 100% prepared for that role? No. I would say I probably needed like another week of coaching. And then after the week of coaching, I could have used one more week of just sitting with the music by myself. So I needed like about 2 more weeks before I got to that job. And I didn't have that. So I'm going to talk a bit about preparation. Make sure you're prepared. Be prepared in every sense of that word. When you go to do your opera, know what you are singing about, know to whom you're singing, know who is singing to you, know about your character, know about the composer, know about the librettist, know about everything. Even know about the opera house where it first happened. Know about the opera house that you're singing in. Know about the last time the company did it. Know that. Last year with Porgy and Bess at the Metropolitan Opera, every single person in Porgy and Bess was like, this opera hasn't been done in 30 years. Everybody knew that. Everybody was interested. Be interested in what you're doing. That's the thing about having being on a journey, on a mission, a plan, a path, is that you learn a lot on the way, right? I'm learning a lot on the way. I'm only sharing with you what I've learned up until now. I hope as time progresses that I'll learn even more that I can share with you. But I think what's fascinating about it is the most important lesson I have learned is that in adversity, in struggle and obstacles and hardships, there is joy unspeakable. There is something so amazingly beautiful about keeping yourself encouraged, keeping yourself motivated. You know why I talk about motivating and being joyful and being encouraging and stuff? Because I find that when I do that for other people, that thing comes right back to me and it fills me up. It fills me right up. It makes me feel good. And I pray for you that you feel good. I want you to do good. I want you to be great. I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. If I can succeed, if I can, that list that I wrote down, that girl who was in Apple Valley listening to Leontine Price when she's 7 years old, if I can have that vision in my head that I want to sing at the Met, and that vision comes true. If I can say, oh, I want to sing at La Scala. I told my friend Lester Lynch in 2016, Lester said, Angel, what do you want to sing at La Scala? Because I told him, I said, I love La Scala. I said, I had always done smaller roles at La Scala. There's nothing wrong with smaller roles. There's no such thing as a small role. But that's the way I'm going to explain it, is that it was a smaller part. And Lester said, Angel, what would you like to sing at La Scala? And I said, do you want me to be honest with you? And Lester said, yes, of course. Well, of course, Angel. He was always jolly and laughing. I said, Lester, I would like to sing La Traviata. And I said, there's a recording from Maria Callas. I believe it's Maria Callas and Di Stefano, I think. And it's 1955. And I said it was redone by Decca Records. I listen to that recording all the time. I said the audience goes crazy when she sings the arias. They go crazy throughout the whole piece. And I said, that's my favorite opera that I sing right now. And I would love to sing that at La Scala. That would be a dream. 2016, we were doing Porgy and Bess there. And I went and I wrote that down. And I said, Lord, I don't have to do this if this isn't your will. But God, I would love to sing La Traviata at Teatro alla Scala. I said that in 2016. I wrote it down. In 2019, January of 2019, I made my Royal Opera House Covent Garden debut as Violetta. And I saw that they were doing Traviata at La Scala at the same time. And so I thought, wow, that would be amazing if they called me and asked me to come and sing it. And I flew home from London to, at the time I was living in California. I flew home to California and I had it in my head. I thought, that'd be rough if they called me to sing that opera. I woke up the next morning and my manager called me and he said, Angel, what are you doing? I said, nothing, we just got up, we're gonna have breakfast. And he said, would you like to sing La Traviata at Teatro alla Scala? And I'm thinking, oh yeah, of course. I'm thinking it's gonna be 2029 or something like that. And I said, when? And he said, next week. I said, next week? He said, next week. And I said, okay. And I got down on my knees and I said, thank you, Lord. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Press forward, press forward, press forward. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Just keep moving forward. You have greatness in you. I don't mean to be preachy. Please understand, I am a pastor's daughter. My mom and my dad are pastors. My sister's ordained, and so is my brother. I'm not, but it's in my heart. Please be encouraged. Please know that whatever it is that you desire to do is at the fingertips of your hand. It's right there. Work hard for it. Believe in it. Keep moving forward. Have no enemy within. In other words, don't talk crazy to yourself, because when somebody else says something to you, you'll recognize that it's just being a mess and crazy, and it won't come into you and hurt you. Move forward in your journey. I'm honored to be a part of Black women in opera. I'm blessed to be a Black woman. I wouldn't change, people say, if you could come back into this world as anything else, what would you do? What would you be? I would come back just like this, in this body, with this skin tone, with this, you can't see it, but with this hair, this 4C hair that I have under here. I will come back the same way. Because if God be for you, who can be against you? You have greatness in you. There is something so special about you if you would believe that. Move forward with it. Don't let anyone steal you of take your joy. Don't let anybody rob you of those gifts that God has given to you. They're precious. They're for you. Guard them. Guard them. You will make a way for other people. You will make a way for yourself. That's what the Black women in opera is doing. That's what we're all here for. I'm blessed and thankful to be where I am because I see each and every one of you in some way as being there too with me. And I'm with you. Lift each other up. Encourage each other. Don't tear each other down. There's no good in that. There's no good in being nasty and mean to other people. Jealousy never looked good on anybody. I don't care how beautiful, thin or not thin or whatever anybody is. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. I love you. God loves you. Thank you for this time. I hope that what I said made sense. I know I get excited and then I get crying and all of this, but I appreciate you. I'm on social media. If you ever want to talk, if ever you want to send me a message, you can find me on Instagram is where I'm the most active. And my handle is just my full name, Angel Joy Blue. God bless you. I love you. Stay encouraged. Thank you for letting me have this time with you. Thank you.